Zool is best known as an Amiga game, and one of those old PC platformers with a distinctive, chaotic, busy level design, full of random little visual details, non-linear stages, and just a generally wild and slightly claustrophobic feel. More sporadic than your console platformers. Some say these things make a game stock and uninspired, but I feel writing off games like that is such a waste of time. Ironically, stock, mediocre, generic, they're all as unhelpful and nondescript as their meanings. Cause my guy, even stock photos have an appeal, and that's absolutely the same for games like Zool. I think it's a good game, and it does have visual consistency, just not consistently. It might look a bit messy, yeah, but the gameplay and music tie it together, and to me, Zool 2 is more interesting and more fun than your average platformer, just because it is a little crazy. The intro for starters, the uncanny black void, just a horrifying marshmallow ninja man slowly turns to jump scale you and flail his rubber arms around. It's such a jarring way to begin your game, but hey, it's kind of impressive to see it running, you know, it gives me Sonic 3D Blast on Mega Drive, reminds me a lot of that. Oh yeah, and can't forget the Chupa Chups branding sponsoring this game, goddamn. Like, okay, Zool collects candy sometimes, and I guess whacked out Hyper Ninja Gremlins probably do need a lot of sugar, because I'm at least 2 of those things. So yeah, at least Chupa Chups sort of makes sense alongside Zool, but man, it's still just really bizarre to see a platformer that ain't outright an advert game have such a heavy emphasis on a branding like this. Man, I've not had Chupa Chups since I was like 11. Dude, I think the last time I had one I was on the outskirts of Paris, walking down this big river on like the neighbourhoods around there. And I was always a cola kinda kid as well. Man, this shit better not stop working. So yeah, you just play through the main game, but you got some 1 controller 2 player. 2 characters as well. There's some little shortcuts that change between them, but nothing you'll really notice. So you run, jump and shoot. The speed is very fast and snappy with almost no momentum. You just stop immediately when you release the D-pad. It sounds a little fiddly, and at times yes, but it's generally very fun. The sudden acceleration and stopping makes the precise platforming manageable for this fast a game. You zip and dart around in a very ninja-like way. The shooting matches this speed even if the shots are a little too small to hit accurately all the time. I really like how this game controls. And there's power-ups courtesy of our friends at Chupa Chups. Just your usual invincibility and close range offensive shields, but with enemies going down in 1 hit, the power-ups aren't the most useful, just a nice bonus. Oh, and there's screen clears too, but I sort of always forget to use them honestly, even though they're very satisfying to pull off. I suppose not many platformers have screen clears. It's like more of a shmup thing really. But you get to the end of the stage and nothing happens, so you gotta collect the vast majority of the random basic pickups. It's a nuisance, it doesn't tell you to go back to specifically do this, but ayo. I think you need 75% of all the items, and the counter bottom left shows the percent. Yeah, it's a bit dumb, I'd rather it be 50% as it kinda slows the game down and it took me quite a while to work out what to do to actually move on to the next level. But once you know it, it's pretty easy to just gather whatever comes your way and it'll always be more than enough by the time you're at the end. And the bonus rounds of Breakout are cute too, but every time I just lost within seconds. But still, it's cool how many games on Jaguar have a Breakout bonus round, you know, because Breakout on Atari, you know, is very, very fitting. And yeah, the visuals can be messy, but I think it works really well. It's bright and confusing eye candy. The background's sharp basic details and the levels themselves make good use of colour schemes, keeping them mostly from looking like a clusterfuck. It's crowded, yeah, but it takes that Sonic CD approach of being a very coloured, sensory look, very concept-driven environment ideas. Maybe not all the time though, like Checkerboard Land is kinda dumb, like a psychotic intermission. I don't really know what to say about this one, as it sort of lacks a focus. I mean, Snakes and Ladders ain't exactly a standard level type, so I appreciate it randomly thrown in amongst all your usual desert, snowland, or rather frozen treat land. Tasty candy cane walls and the cold condensation of these cans legit kinda makes me thirsty. That Chupa Chups budget on full display here, goddamn. The Christmas nighttime navy star-filled sky is pretty great looking though. Shame they went a little too trigger happy with the precise platforming over tall levels with hidden blocks, but like it's still nice looking. Unlike the game over screen's cup noodle men, whose faces make me feel very inferior and I am hugely offended by them. The bouncy synth-heavy music is honestly really good. I love the crunchy ambient drum fills and the compressed sounding melodies. It's some really relaxing deep heavy beats, especially the first two tracks. Yeah, Bulbury Hill, I don't know what this level is, but man, that music's awesome. This purple licorice looking turquoise Willy Wonka showbiz factory warehouse. It's probably my favourite level in the game, as the stages start to just get a little bit too non-linear for my liking, and the locations start kind of lacking more of the atmosphere, as opposed to being chaotic in colourful places. Like Swan Lake, sure it's chaotic, full of stuff, but there's still an atmosphere here. Like a sun-drenched pastel lakeside fantasy, the verges of a purple forest where the dwelling birds and their eggs lay, alongside earthly walls of birdseed and strewn cages. There's a visual core to the chaos, unlike Snaking Bass for example, which is just checkerboard patterns, and while I love me some checker tile aesthetics, it's not like it's some sort of environment from a psychotic dream, but rather just psychotic. Lacking that contrast in background and foreground elements, or having any recognisable structures, consistent layouts, not being somewhere that something could live within. You with me? You picking up what I'm putting down? You feeling what I'm reeling? You sipping what I'm shipping? You smelling what I'm selling? You better be smelling. This game's style is chaotic, but I like that crazy visual design. Like, it's not just random colours and shapes. Like Sonic CD again, for example. That game is nowhere near the random mishmash of things that a lot of people say it is. It's chaotic, yes, but there's still a sense of this being an identifiable place, just in a different plane to ours, for instance. It might be nonsense to us, but if we can still feel its atmosphere, we can still feel some connection to the place. Basically, chaotic visuals aren't the problem, it's when the visuals don't really have a core focus, when you don't understand what the setting is meant to be. No consistent style, colours, shapes, buildings, layouts, or even just solid ground. Like Mental Blockage here, for example. I have legit no idea what to say about this one as well. It's like piano key, white paper heaven, but hey, that's still something, I guess. I'd kind of rather that out there shit than the usual grassland, desertland, snow, sky, forest type Mario shit. That, to be fair, feels just as disconnected as anywhere in Zool 2 does to me. Yeah, it's a fun, chaotic little game with some cool, weird atmosphere, if not just a tad unfocused and overzealous in its layouts. But I think that's definitely part of its appeal. It has many moments where a really great game shines out from beneath its fun yet slightly unpolished, scruffy charm. But that great game is absolutely still there, and it just takes the right approach to find it. There's a wild, controlled catharsis at play in Zool 2. I like it lots, and will be coming back to try and properly finish it off one day.